What's up? Welcome to the Wise Dragon Podcast. I am Alan Salyer, the Wise Dragon himself. I'm going to be your host. Here we're going to talk about life and lifestyle changes. We're going to talk about habits around food, fitness, and overall wellness. I'm going to share personal stories and anecdotes with you from my life. Head on over to my website. It's wisezendragon, WISEZEN, dragon.com. There you're going to find memberships that involve programs and wellness coaching that you can look into. Sign up for a free membership so you can read my blog, and make sure to follow all my social media for any updates we have coming in the future. Let's get to the show. What's up, guys? So to kick it off, I wanted to talk about the power of morning routines. I know this is something that I used to do. It was like religion for me, 5 a.m. club. I used to say it every day. It's when I got up. And it wasn't about getting up, getting to the gym, da-da-da-da. It was more like getting up and starting the day, that first hour of what you eat, how you feel, just kind of setting up your routine. Your tone is a good way to put it, setting your tone for success of the day. So the way that I kind of think about it is your day flows depending on how you start it. Um, for me, you get up, you eat your breakfast, get your day started. You drink your caffeine of some sort, whatever it is, whether it be coffee, tea, you drink your caffeine, you get your stuff going. And then throughout the day, that's how you continue to move. If you wake up sluggish and you're rushing around, the whole day feels like you're sluggish and you're rushing around. So if you wake up and you do a little bit of productivity, stretch, eat, pack some food, don't stress yourself out, don't rush yourself. It doesn't matter at that point, whether it's hydration, meditation, movement, throughout the day, it's all going to seem, I'm not going to say simple, but it's going to seem like it's working in a weird way. So I want to talk about the first 16 minutes of your day and things you can do. I want to talk to you about the science behind morning routines. It's something I'm going to kind of dig into a little bit. And then I have a bunch of examples of famous people and their routines, whether it be famous influencers, people that like are on podcasts that we all listen to, whether it's celebrity actors, actresses, musicians. I got a little bit of everything in there. So I'm looking forward to that because, to be completely honest, I think it's super interesting. We all get online and we follow these people and we talk about these people, but knowing what they do in their life, it's kind of like a little bit of, I guess, in my mind, like motivation. If I know that so-and-so does a certain workout, I'm thinking about that same workout. I don't know if you guys are like that, but I am. So, and then at the very end of this, which is actually going to be a little bit, because it's a whole step-by-step guide, I'm going to go through and share a step-by-step guide for creating a personalized morning routine. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first science behind morning routines that I want to talk about is habit formation and the power of repetition. So I kind of started talking about this in my trailer podcast about habits and how they form and how just important it is to do something over and over and over, whether it's a little bit or a lot of it. So that being said, a habit consists of three components: your cue, which is your trigger, a routine, which is the action, and then the reward, which is the outcome. When we perform the same things every morning, things like stretching, journaling, the brain kind of build actions into automatic behaviors that requires less consciousness over time. Therefore, that morning routine tends to build and build and build, and it sets you up for a great day, every time. Just in general too, depending on what you're doing, I like this part. The reward is dopamine. Completing habit tasks early in the day is always going to trigger dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter associated with feelings or accomplish and pleasure, reinforcing that habit. Why would you not want to be happy every morning? That just sounds like, right there sounds awesome to me. This second one right here is honestly probably one of my favorites. Decision fatigue. So this reminds me of as you get older and you start to talk to your friends, or you get in a relationship, or you start doing all these different things where you're trying to figure out plans, you're trying to figure out what you're doing for the day. Um, you have to think about it. And I know how many of us have done that thing where it's like, what do you want to eat for dinner? I don't care. What do you want to eat for dinner? It, it's so funny to me because at that point, it's like, first of all, trying to figure out what you're going to eat for dinner is already a problem in its own. And then to add to that, it's stressful. It's 100% draining your body, trying to make up all these decisions. So the more you do stuff in the morning, eventually turning into a routine and a habit, that completely eliminates all of your decision fatigue. So you're getting up, you know what you have to do, you bust it out. The next thing you know, you're getting ready to do your next thing and you feel good. You're not overwhelmed. You've established this routine and it automates the entire process of what to do first thing in the morning. Um, just you need your cognitive energy for more important tasks. That's common sense. You want to be able to focus on things that are important to you, things going on with your children, your spouse, your work. You want to be able to focus on those things. You don't want to be worried about what you have to do as soon as you wake up in the morning. And I think that's a big thing for a lot of people. Um, I know with me, I've always been a quote unquote morning person, but I have a lot of, I'll call them issues with not being able to reward myself and do these things in the morning, just because of like life in general and being in not the best relationship. Um, all that being said, it really does drain you. It really takes everything out of you. And I see it now, even with my kids, because we do like a shared parenting thing, and I see like my kids, and it just makes zero sense to me why every single day when you wake up, you have to rush around. The day before, you get your stuff together. You pack your lunch, you set out your clothes, you take your shower. If you want to take a shower in the morning, you get up, that's part of your routine. You do it in the morning. You you set these habits and you set these things because when you do end up spending all that time rushing around every day, I will be honest with you, it does create issues, not only with yourself, but with the people around you. And if you don't understand that, then try it and figure it out, and you'll see. There's no other real way to explain it. Decision fatigue is a real thing. It's important. You definitely need to try to stick to something in the morning to make yourself have a better day, to let your brain focus on other things. That's just how I feel about it. And honestly, like I said, this is one of my favorite ones, like one of my favorite steps, just because I've done it. I've experienced every single step of it. I've experienced the fatigue. I've experienced the fogginess. I've experienced the depression. I've experienced it in not only myself, but my children. But it's so many things that just is so important that I love this one. I think that even if you even if your daily morning routine has nothing to do with fitness, but it's just making sure you get your coffee in the morning, just doing something can really help you out in becoming happier throughout the day. And I like that about this. This third one is about your circadian rhythms and your energy peak. That being said, circadian rhythms are the body's natural 24-hour cycle. Um, they regulate various functions like sleep, digestion, hormone production, which if you guys haven't kind of figured out yet, I know this is the first episode, but maybe in your journey you've already started, you've kind of seen that those things are probably the most important. Making sure you get good sleep and the right kind of sleep, the food that you eat and how it digests in your body, and then your hormone production is literally the decisions that your body's going to make for anything and everything. It makes it a lot easier to be happy and to go through your day making good choices when your hormones are in balance. So aligning your morning routine with your circadian rhythm really can enhance your energy and focus. So first thing in the morning, in between 6 and 9 a.m., your body experiences a natural spike in cortisol. This is known as the cortisol awakening response. Um, it's going to increase alertness. It's going to prepare you for the day, and engaging in energy activities like exercising, being properly hydrated, sunlight exposure. Sunlight exposure is so important. Like I know in the trailer, I had mentioned to you guys, like that's something in the self what's the subreddit, self improvement subreddit, that I really enjoy. That everybody says, if you're depressed and you're not feeling good when you wake up, get you a little bit of sunlight and then see how you feel. It really does make a complete change. So that goes on to this next one. Exposure to natural light in the morning helps regulate your melatonin production, that signaling the body to wake up and be alert. Just that in general helps you get on a better, healthier sleep-wake cycle. So number three, your circadian rhythm and energy peaks. That's very, very important when it comes to getting your morning routine together. Number four, I like because I practice it myself, a lot actually. So boosting focus and productivity, routines that include mindfulness practices, such as meditating or journaling, which I do both, helps improve cognitive functions that reduce stress and improve mental clarity. So morning meditation, for example, can increase focus, emotional regulation, and resilience throughout the day. I don't know how that's a bad thing. So I know for me, journaling is a big one. I love to write. You guys will see that like throughout this journey that we're going to go on. When I start talking about my blog posts and the books that I'm working on, you'll see that that's a big thing for me, getting out what you have going on. And I want to kind of touch on that for a second. The reason why I feel like writing is so good, journaling or what, is because when you're doing that, it's for you. Not saying that someone else can't read it or that you're not going to read it to someone else. However, just in general, most of what you write, especially nowadays, it's off of text messages or off of blog posts, like social media posts. It's all things that all these other people are going to see. But when you journal, it's for you. And when you're writing something for you, the emotional connection between it and the just transparency of what you're saying can be so much greater. It's kind of like talking to yourself in the mirror. You start journaling about real things that are going through your head and through your heart, and it really opens up a whole nother wave of just energy that you understand. All of a sudden, because you've journaled that morning about some things going on in your own life that no one else knows, when you're looking at those people throughout the day that you also have to talk to, that you also have to be humble with, whether it's the lady getting your food at the restaurant at Panera Bread or the guy next to you pouring coffee at Speedway, it doesn't matter. All of a sudden, you have all these different bits of mental clarity that really help you focus in on being humble. I feel like it's so good. Journaling is one of those things that I honestly feel like everybody should do, and it should just be part of your day, whether it's at night journaling, whether it's in the morning journaling. I journal all the time, so it's one of those things. So another one is for like focus and productivity is meditation. So studies indicate that mindful practice improves attention span and working memory by enhancing connectivity with the brain regions. Those brain regions are associated with focus and self-regulation. You can't beat that. Like, why? I know a lot of people talk about, um, for example, having the six different things that you need in your life. You need your something to help you stay in shape, something to help you make money, something to help you be knowledgeable. That's one of those things. Like meditation and focus is going to help you become more knowledgeable. It's going to be able to let your brain grab all that connectivity, and it's going to really help you just take in all the different information you're learning for the day. At least that's what I think. Um, I I believe a lot in the practices of meditation. I very much love it. The next one is exercise. So physical activity in the morning increases blood flow to the brain, improving cognitive performance. We know this. Like it increases blood flow to everywhere, helping your mood, your memory. Why would you not want to get all that you can to your brain? That's your brain and your gut control everything. So that's a big one for me. I really like the working out in the morning. I think that that's probably the best for you. I know nowadays I kind of hit the gym whenever I can, but I'd like to get back to that point where I can just do it in the morning. So let's talk about this fifth one, goal setting and mental priming. So positive affirmations, I think, are great. Repeating them for visualizing success in the morning, it really does create positive feedback. It helps you stay motivated, things like that. Uh, my thing is, I love the whole affirmations thing. I love that people do it. But I think a lot of people have the concept of affirmations wrong. An affirmation can be anything that is making you think that you're doing okay, because everybody's different. So when you think about it, reading affirmations that say like, I am good, I am encouraging to people, I am doing the right thing, that's not necessarily good because you may not be doing the right thing. So I feel like affirmations can come in so many different forms that, yes, as they are good for you, I want to change this one to any sort of setting a goal. So whether it's faith based and you want to pray, that's a great, in my mind, type of affirmation, because at this point you're relying on someone else, which if faith is a weird thing when it comes to that, but when it comes to like creating all these things and priming yourself, but honestly, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, being able to rely on somebody that powerful, um, that's a whole nother level. So, and the people that know what I'm talking about, they know what I'm talking about. And the ones that aren't very faith based, it's completely okay. We can definitely stick to affirmations. So there's nothing wrong with that. I feel that it doesn't matter what you do, is kind of what I was getting at. But setting goals and getting your mind right is important, whether it is affirmations or prayer, or even just, I feel like even making sure you get up and do like your meditation and stuff is just as good as well. So that's kind of how I feel about that one. So not as crucial in my mind. Just make sure you're setting some sort of goal, that you're looking forward to something. That's what's important. So this very last one is, to be completely honest with you, it's 100% a mix of everything we just talked about. Um, Reducing your stress and creating an emotional balance. So things like journaling, gratitude exercises, breath work, meditation, all those things in the morning are going to help lower your cortisol levels, um, after the initial spike, of course, but it's going to help get your day going on a positive note the whole day, not just a little bit of it, the whole day. Journaling and getting those things out, like I just talked about with getting coffee next to the guy at Speedway and being humble, like anything like that. Gratitude exercises. Think about that. Um, Being emotionally available to be susceptible and make better choices, knowing that what you're doing is positive steps forward. There's nothing better than that. And the whole breathing thing, I don't know if anyone has tried this, but do some box breathing before you go to bed, or when you're sitting on the computer, close your eyes and do a little bit of box breathing. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is, box breathing is when you go, I do 3 seconds. Some people do five. Five seems to be too much for me, so I do three. So you hold your breath for 3 seconds, bring in for 3 seconds, release for 3 seconds, bring in. So it's like a box, you know what I mean? So in, out, in, out. But you hold, and that's where you got to hold for those 3 seconds. So, um, like 3 seconds in, hold for 3 seconds, out for 3 seconds, hold for 3 seconds. Um, that can literally change your entire perspective of what you have going on right now. I know that seems weird, but it really does. When you're so focused on your breath work, all of a sudden, most things around you, you realize are not that important. I mean, yes, everything's important. Don't get on me about that. But you learn that not everything has to be super important. It's one step at a time for not just you, but everybody around you. As soon as you realize that, the better off you're going to be. So throughout the science behind all this, all I can say is that a structured morning routine really does help improve your mental and physical health. Um, Healthy habits, boosting your focus, productivity, syncing with your body's natural rhythms, reducing stress, all these things are so important. And aligning your routine with what science tells us about habit formation, brain function, and emotional regulation, you really can create a powerful start to your day just by getting these things out and doing them in the first 60 minutes of you waking up. So I hope some of these things are cool with you guys and that you already do or that you want to try, I'm going to go into some of the things that I think is cool that some different like celebrities and influencers and stuff do. Um, Not all of them, not going to go detail for detail, but I'm just going to throw some names out there and talk about a few of them, which I think is pretty cool. And then if you guys have any like questions about any of this, or if you want to talk further about it, feel free to shoot me an email. It's wise, WISEZEN, dragon at gmail.com. Shoot me an email. We can talk about this or write a review, anything. I would love to connect more with the people that are listening to my podcast and that are excited to go on this journey with us. So, all right. So I'm going to talk about a couple of these. I just wrote some down, put it in my notes, and just kind of like went through them. So, one of the first ones that I got is Tim Ferriss. He's an author and an entrepreneur. If you guys don't know who he is, look him up. His books are honestly great. He meditates in the morning for 20 minutes. We just talked about how great meditation was. Engages in 5 to 10 minutes of journaling with gratitude and self-consciousness. Both of those are going to be great. I mean, that's kind of what we talked about with the writing, looking at yourself in the mirror. So good. And then 20 minutes of exercise, kettlebells or body weight. I think especially in the morning, body weight exercises, yes, it's great to do the whole, go to the gym and, work, do all your stuff. Cool. But not everybody has to do that all the time, especially if you're in a time crunch and you're still like learning. This is new to you. Do some body weight exercises, which honestly just could be some push-ups or stretching, or I mean, it doesn't have to be super extravagant, just do some body work exercises. We can always talk about those too later on in another podcast. Maybe that's another podcast I'll do. So Elon Musk, I know he's super popular right now. He is the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX. He wakes up at 7 a.m. and immediately jumps into work, checking emails. I mean, I know that sounds a little counterproductive, kind of based on what we've been talking about. But, I mean, at the same time, if that's what makes you happy, clearly he's doing okay, then, do it. He only drinks coffee. He always skips breakfast. So I feel like that's kind of funny because I make sure I always, this is the first thing I do in the morning when I wake up. 3 eggs and a yogurt. That's what I always do. I've always heard the 30 grams of protein within the first 30 minutes of waking up. So in 3 eggs, that's, 6, 12, 18. And then typically some of your like Greek yogurts and stuff, they're mostly like 12 to 14 grams of protein. So right there's 30 grams of protein within the first 30 minutes of waking up. So I always try to do that. The next one that I have on here is Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. So he wakes up naturally without an alarm, which I find so just enlightening, because kind of where I'm at now in life is wanting to wake up on my own time, wanting to do my things on my own time, because I feel like that's really going to help me stay more center. But I'm having such a hard time doing that because I'm so used to waking up early that it really kind of messes with me. So I love the fact that somebody like Jeff can do that and still be as successful as he is. I think it's awesome. He avoids scheduling meetings or important tasks until 10 a.m. Clearly, I mean, if you're not waking up with an alarm, you don't want to wake up and rush into something, So I can definitely see why he would do that. The next one I have on here is Ben Greenfield. I don't know if you guys know him at all. He has a podcast about biohacking. He's an author. He's a fitness coach. I love Ben Greenfield. There's something, I don't listen to all his podcasts because some get super technical for me, but I really like his concept on life. He just is just really straightforward and does good things. He's trying out all these different, like, it's just, you have to listen to his podcast. Ben Greenfield Life is his podcast. So he wakes up at 5 a.m. and does like stretching or mobility exercises. I've actually heard him say that on his podcast about how he wakes up in the morning, practices gratitude and meditates for 5-10 minutes. We talked about that. You can't beat meditation and gratitude. But as soon as you wake up, that's some of the best things for you, honestly. And then cold therapy. So I know that's really big for people right now. A lot of people are doing the whole cold therapy thing. I'm not a fan of it. but a cold shower or an ice bath when you wake up can completely just like supercharge your metabolism for the day. And it really just it's supposed to be really good for you. I just can't do it. I'm not good at it. Um, I got Shaun T here. I don't know if you guys remember him, or if he still does anything. I didn't really look into it, but he was the creator of Insanity and T25, the workout programs. Um, I like this one here. Wakes up and drinks water first thing. So I do that. I think my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, he does that. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I drink an entire bottle of water. I don't know why. It's something that really makes me feel good. And then it says he does a 30 to 45-minute workout, including HIIT and cardio. A lot of people do that. I'm not. I gotta eat something. I can't do all that. And then afterwards, it says he has a protein-rich breakfast, eggs, smoothie, and greens. I definitely recommend, like I said, eggs and yogurt's my jam. So definitely can see that. Practices gratitude and reviews goals. That's another one that I didn't really touch on earlier. Reviewing your journaling and your goals from the day before is such a good practice, because it kind of brings you back to where you were. I'm not saying we should reflect on or we should worry about the past, but we should definitely reflect on it. How do you get better if you don't understand your mistake or if you don't understand what you did? So reflection, I think, is great. My next one's Mark Wahlberg. I love Mark Wahlberg. He's an actor and a fitness enthusiast. All his movies, I don't care if you guys think they're the same. I'm a Mark Wahlberg fan. I like him. He's a good dude. I like him on Instagram. I like watching all his stuff. I'm completely cool with most everything he does. So he wakes up at 2:30. I've actually seen some of his stuff where like he doesn't always do this, but when he's like training for specific things, that's his jam. He gets up and starts working out, things like that. Um, well, so he can work out. He wakes up and spends time meditating and praying, which I think is really cool. But then he's always like working out between 4 and 5 a.m. So you would have to get up earlier if you wanted to do that, later on. And then he does 90-minute workouts in the morning before he does anything, and eats high protein breakfast, includes protein shakes. I could definitely see that. I mean, he definitely is pretty straightforward when it comes to what he does, and which is pretty normal as well. A 90-minute workout, strength training, and HIIT sounds about right. This next one is it's The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, actor, former wrestler. I I get that he seems to be two in the world right now, but there's something about this man. His charisma is amazing. He makes me, whether I'm doing bad or good, feel like I'm gonna do better. Just hearing him talk and the way that he promotes himself and promotes the people around him really makes me feel like it's gonna be okay. And I think that's an awesome trait to have because not everybody has that. Um, Says he wakes up at 4 a.m., does fasted cardio, which is typically running or cycling. I cannot run. I probably could, but I'm getting too old for that. So cycling definitely sounds awesome. He follows that with strength training, does different muscle groups each day. Clearly, it's working for him. You can see how big he is. Not everybody can do that, though. Some people get into these splits. Some people get into these specific uh, routines for muscle groups and stuff. I typically just do your standards, at least for right now. It's what I've been doing. So I'll do my squats, then I'll do bench press, and then I'll do deadlifts, and then I'll do overhead press, which even my overhead press, I come down, I sit back a little bit further so that I can come down to my chest and up so that I'm still hitting not only my shoulders, but I'm also getting to a little bit of my back and into my side. I can really feel it throughout the entire push. So and then it says he eats a large protein breakfast, eggs, oatmeal, and steak. That's awesome. Is I eat steak every day. Like that's crazy. I mean, I doubt it's every day, but it's still like out of all the people, you know, The Rock would eat steak for breakfast every day. Uh, and then he often takes time for mental focus and visualization. Again, practicing gratitude, meditating. Like it really, really, really is more important than you give it credit for. I I suggest everybody try it, honestly. Kevin Hart. Everybody knows Kevin Hart. I love Kevin Hart. He's hilarious. Comedian, enthusiast. Kevin Hart is so funny. It says he wakes up at 5 a.m., starts with cardio. I can definitely see that. I've seen on his Instagram and stuff before that he does that. followed by weight training, different muscle groups each day, kind of the same thing as what The Rock does, I'm assuming. Um, and then it also says he eats a balanced breakfast, not so high in protein, but typically it's eggs, oatmeal, or protein shake, which is cool. This is the second one that said oatmeal. Um, I'm not a fan. I don't do oatmeal, but I don't do a whole lot of carbs. So if I do oatmeal, typically it's just like one packet. I don't do the whole like special thing. And I put a little bit of peanut butter powder in it, and like some blueberries or something. Um, and then it says you practice gratitude and visualization. Again, it, I'm telling you, these people, they practice their gratitude. They wake up and they motivate. Um, Terry Crews, I had to put him in here because I think he's hilarious. He's an actor and a former NFL player. I think he's so funny. Like his Old Spice commercials and all that stuff, just hilarious to me. Says he starts his day with intermittent fasting, which I know a lot of people do. Only drinks water and black coffee until lunchtime. I know a lot of people do that too. So I definitely believe in that. What's the right word? Routine. Um, it says he works out in the morning, weightlifting and cardio. A lot of people do that. I've been there. Uses mornings to create visualization and self-reflection. I mean, honestly, again, that's like the fifth one in a row. And then emphasizes flexibility, mobility, and yoga. Um, I'm a firm believer in that because it's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm 100% doing more stretching 1 to 2 times a day, and I'll be completely honest, it's just good. It just feels good. Um, it keeps me kind of moving, keeps me limber. I really, really like the whole getting into stretching more. So that was some celebrities and fitness influencers and podcasters and just a little bit of everything. And I mean, just think about it. If that's what they do in the mornings, then maybe we should kind of look into doing the same thing. And if you notice, they all were different. So that being said, it's more about making sure that you're happy and you're getting up and doing something, not necessarily what it is you're doing. So think about that when you go to create your own routine. Because here in this next thing, I'm going to go through real quick and just give you the steps of creating a personalized routine. And then I'm going to link on my website and stuff, kind of a PowerPoint. Maybe here in the next day or two, you'll see it just about setting up a morning routine. I might end up putting in my programs also, so we'll kind of see how that goes. But that's going to be the next part, and then we're gonna get this uploaded. All right. So as far as um, creating a personalized routine, uh, I'm gonna go over kind of a step-by-step guide, but I'm not gonna go too in depth into everything. I'm gonna make a like a PowerPoint or some sort of program to put on my website for you guys to look at. So I was gonna go over these to see if it's something that you're interested in. If it is, you can always take notes, write down each step, and then kind of build it yourself. Because honestly, like we just talked about, with seeing all the things that the different influencers and celebrities do, everybody's different, and you don't necessarily need to be to the T of somebody else. You just need to be yourself. So, step one, of course, is going to be defining goals. You're going to want to figure out what you're aiming to do, whether it's improving your health, boosting your productivity, reducing stress, developing a new skill, whatever your goal is for your day, for your life, for your mental focus, then that's what you're going to want to do. So, like, for example, if your goal is physical health, your routine might want to be to exercise and some better nutrition. You may want to improve your focus and reduce stress. So you may want to incorporate meditation and journaling. That's kind of where, some of the things we were talking about, figuring out your own path can really help. Um, the next step is going to be identifying your non-negotiables. Now, non-negotiables are going to mean things that you're not getting rid of. No matter what, you have to, these are essential activities. You have to do them. They could be health focused, they could be mental wellness activities, they could be work related, but no matter what, 3 to 5 key things that are most important to you that are non-negotiable that you're going to do. Examples are going to be stretching, meditation, hydration, journaling, eating a healthy breakfast. Write them down. Those are what we're going to focus on as soon as you wake up. That's what's important. Step 3, you're going to decide on a time that you can commit to. Now, everybody's different. We just seen with all the different celebrities or whatever, They all do their own thing. It's about when you can do it. And start small if you have to. Even if you only have 30 minutes in the morning, don't rush yourself. Just do something that's meaningful to you. That way you can start to be consistent. Eventually you can extend how long you do it. But for the start with something small. Nothing has to be life changing tomorrow. Um, Step 4 is going to be break down your routine into time blocks. So that being said, say you have a 60-minute, a 1 hour morning routine, 5 minutes hydration, 10 minutes meditation, 30 minutes exercise, 10 minutes shower. Right there. That's, a little bit less than an hour, but between each one, then yeah, you're going to be good. You're going to have time to go to each one. That's going to be your hour. And then check them boxes. Um, Optimize your environment. It's going to be step number 5. This, I feel like, as easy as it sounds, is harder than it really is. So you want to create your space for your morning routine. I know for me, one of my morning routines is literally preparing for my day. So the night before, you'll see me get, all the way down to I'll get a plate out with a napkin and a fork so that when I make my eggs, I can put them straight on my plate. And I'll get my pan out and set it on the stove with my salt and pepper. Like, I'll do all the things. I'll get my shaker cups out with all my different supplements, and I'll set them all out on the table so that all I got to do is grab my milk. Like, there's so many things that help you when you optimize your environment, and that's so much more important than you give it credit for. So some of the examples they include are preparing workout clothes the night before, have your journal, meditation cushion, or water nearby when you wake up, if those are things that you're going to do, and create a calm environment, soft music, dim lighting. So speaking of soft music, that's another creating my environment that I thoroughly enjoy. I've been big on YouTube right now, getting into these like live videos where it's like classical music or jazz music or lo-fi music, and they have cool backgrounds, that move and stuff. And you just turn them on and you turn them down a little bit. And it keeps you so much more focused when you have like some little bit of something in the background. I really like that. So check those out. Maybe I'll link a couple of them in the description. So, or a couple of them that I actually like, a couple of these YouTube channels that I like. They're pretty cool. And then step 6, experiment with different elements. So maybe you want to exercise, but it doesn't work out for you in the morning. So don't stick to it. Change it. Do what makes you work the most and creates your best structure of happiness in the morning. Experiment with different activities and find what works for you. Don't just stick to something. It's kind of like one of those. Um, it's kind of like one of those things that I've always been a fan of, where if you're reading a book and you don't like the book, don't read the book. Like, you're wasting so much time because you're not going to enjoy finishing it. There's nothing there for you there's whatever you're reading, there's 1,000 other books that have the same concept in it. Find a different one. It'll be just fine. Gradually build your habit. That's step 7. So focus on one thing at a time. Like, if you're having a hard time doing it, your new morning routine, you want to drink water and meditate for 5 minutes, just do that. And then go into journaling, and then, do it for a week. And then the next week, start add your journals. So, chances are once you start doing these things, your mind and your body is going to sync up, and it's going to want to do them on their own anyway. You're going to enjoy your wake up routine. Adjust as needed. Nothing is set in stone. When it comes to growth and making yourself a better person, nothing is set in stone. I want you to remember that. So step 8 is adjust as needed. Step 9, be consistent. Consistency is the key to building anything, especially a successful routine, but anything. I talked about that in the trailer for my podcast. Doing 10 push-ups a day and trying to do 100 a day, which one are you going to actually follow through with? Probably the 10. And at the end of the year, you're going to do more push-ups than that 100 a day. I can guarantee that. Another statistic that I like is reading like 15 minutes a day or whatever. Instead of like trying to sit down and read a whole book, you read for 15 minutes a day or 15 pages. At the end of the year, you've read like, I forget what the statistic is, but it's like somewhere in like the 50 or 60 books. Like, that's awesome. and this is a tip that I really like. Also, I'm so glad I put it in here. If you miss a day, don't be hard on yourself. Get back on track the next day. That's something that consistency is going to help you with. A lot of people, I feel like, give up because they're too focused on trying to stay consistent, and then they get down on themselves. You're not doing anything by getting down on yourself. So just fix it tomorrow. It'll be okay. I promise you. Step 10, reflect and revise. So if you're having issues with stuff in your morning routine, make sure your morning routine is written down, switch it out, change some things, do stuff a little bit different. It's completely okay. I can 100% promise you that it is okay to reflect and revise as long as you're doing something. The example they give is if you're feeling too rushed, consider waking up earlier or cutting out an activity that's less important to your goals. There's nothing wrong with that. It is completely okay. So that's a little bit of a step-by-step guide. Like I said, I'll probably add to this and create a little bit of a program on my website, which I'm going to talk about those. Not right now. I'm going to be running a special in November, so we'll have a couple more podcasts before I actually explain how that's going to work. But as far as this, I'm just super excited that we got episode 1 done, and we're going to get it out here. This has been the creating a powerhouse routine in the morning and why it's so important, the science behind it, what some other people do, people that you can literally Google and see that are successful and how different that they are. I feel like that's a given, meaning that you need to just look at yourself and be the most productive you can, and then a little step-by-step guide that can help you maybe start your own and work towards your own balanced powerhouse of a morning routine. So it was awesome talking to everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and I look forward to talking to you again. Bye. Head on over to my website. It's wisezendragon, WISEZEN dragon.com. There you're going to find memberships that involve programs and wellness coaching that you can look into. Sign up for a free membership so you can read my blog, and make sure to follow all my social media for any updates we have coming in the future.